Hey guys, it's time for a little Smart News Coffee Talk. It's your top 3 stories in 5 and under, inspired by my 3 kids who are 5 and under. You know, motherhood at times can make you feel a little bit out of the loop. At other times, it connects you to people in really unique ways. And I believe it was motherhood that inspired me several months ago to reach out to the mother of Kayla Mueller. Kayla Mueller, as you know, is a young humanitarian worker who was kidnapped and reportedly killed by ISIS. I want to tell you a little bit about that email exchange with her mom because Kayla's back in the news this week. So here are your top 3 stories. We're going to start off with a little politics because we do have a development when it comes to the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. The House of Representatives this week voted to formally announce this impeachment inquiry, which means that all the lawmakers are now on the record about whether or not they agree with the inquiry or not. Republicans voted against it. Democrats, for the most part, voted for it. And so it is a formal vote on the impeachment inquiry, which means nothing more than that. Everyone's on the record, but we have very little information about what happens next and if there'll be public hearings or if there'll even be a vote to impeach President Trump. This is worth noting because we're almost a year out from the election of 2020. And a Democrat strategist once told me that elections are about very simple questions for voters, including, do I have a job and am I safe? And the 2 other stories you should know about this week have to do with both of those topics. So one thing you should know is that this week we marked 90 years since the stock market crash of 1929, and the stock market continues to reach record highs, in part because companies are reporting pretty good results, and we're getting some positive murmurs about what's going on with the trade deal with China. At the same time, we're seeing that the job market remains really healthy. And so consumers see these 2 headlines and feel pretty good, start spending more money, and consumers are the fuel behind the American economy. So overall, when it comes to the economy, the stock market and the job market, the news is pretty positive, and we could put it in that category as being good news on both of those topics. The question about whether or not I'm safe is a bigger question that probably demands more time than we have today. Of course, the big news item you should know this week when it comes to national security is that the leader of ISIS is dead after a U.S. raid on his compound. One of the major components of that raid is the military working dog that was part of the team. And what's fascinating about military working dogs and dogs in general is that scientists have not been able to replicate a dog's sense of smell that they think is 100,000 times better than ours. And so it's one of the reasons why dogs are used in missions like this, which I thought was really interesting. Now, the raid on the compound was named after Kayla Mueller. Again, this young humanitarian worker who traveled to the Middle East to help people that were affected by the civil war in Syria. And a couple months ago, I reached out to her mom because I was thinking about Kayla, in part because we were spending a lot of time in the news talking about another American girl who had chosen to run away from her family and join ISIS and now wanted to return to the United States. And we were covering that news, and there was a lot of headlines, and I just sort of felt this feeling in my gut, what about Kayla? Here this young girl was trying to help people, and we're not talking about her at all. And the family is still searching for information. Her mother had written an editorial, and so I emailed the family and asked for an interview with SmartHER News. And the mom graciously wrote me back and said it wasn't the right time for the interview, but she did share with me that she did feel that there was more to learn about what happened to Kayla. And one of the things that we learned this week is that the family at some point was able to meet with one of the people that was around Kayla when she was held by ISIS. The family desperately still wants more information about what exactly happened to their daughter. Her mom, as I was looking at the email that we exchanged, one of the final things she said to me is that it provided some comfort to her that her daughter was not forgotten. And so one of the things I'm really proud of this week with SmartHER News is that we were able to honor her daughter and her daughter's work and dedication to doing something good in the world, and that we all know her name. And so it's just a reminder of the sacrifice of American families in a myriad of different ways. And the Mueller family is one that continues to be heartbroken over their daughter. And so it's important that we don't forget her for them and for all of us, because we're all part of this American story. So just something I want to leave you with this week. You could keep the Mueller family in your prayers if that's something you wish to do. And we'll continue to keep you updated if we hear anything more from the family. I reached back out to the mom this week, and if I hear back, I'll let you know, of course. In the meantime, I'll see you back on SmartHER News next week. Have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll talk to you soon.